It's July 19th, 2020. It's been very sunny and warm here in Seattle. Let's start the update over here with the lavender. As you can see, pretty much all of the flowers are faded now. And here we have the pine tree and the succulent pot. These two original ones are looking great. This one that I transplanted 2 weeks ago looks like it's adapting pretty well. And this one that I transplanted from indoor last week, the leaves are turning red because of the sun, but if you see closely in the middle, there's a new leaf. Here we have the string of pearls, some new growths all over the plant. And over here's the frizzle sizzle. You can see the flower spike is getting taller and bigger now. I'll give you a closer look from the top. Here's another flower spike from a smaller frizzle sizzle. The elephant food plant is looking good. And the shooting star hydrangea, you can see these two new growths are certainly growing a lot. If you look down over here, you can see a side growth from this bigger new growth right there. Raspberries are doing well. Let's focus on the 1-year-old canes like this one. Pretty much all the flowers are done flowering. They're all pretty much pollinated. Looks pretty good to me. And here's a lot more flowers. You can see that's gonna open soon. Over here's a lot more. So the bees are still gonna come over. Here we have the mint and the artichoke. You can see the mints are really growing now. And the artichoke looks pretty much the same. I'm surprised the flower is still here even though there's no leaves. Over here's a rosemary. You can see the leaves are really getting brown. It's really affected by the warm weather, the dryness too. This one is also sort of affected, so I gotta keep watering them. The green onion is still flowering. As you can see, this is a new flower. Some of the flowers has faded. This is the succulents. Right here is the flower. You can see pretty much all of them have opened. Looks pretty cool. I haven't seen bees around, but I think the bees like these too. Here's the mulberry tree. It's been blown over, but yeah, you can see it looks pretty much the same. Down here's the lily of the valley. Not too much to talk about. The blueberry, on the other hand, you can see the berries are now matured. They're all turning blue now. So I'm gonna harvest a lot of blueberries today, which are gonna be shown at the end of the video. But yeah, we're gonna have a lot of blueberry this first harvest. They're all for the plants too. But at the same time, you can also see a lot of fruits dropping, like these ones. A lot of them are sort of like pinkish. I think those could be damaged by the heat or the dryness. And here we have the dahlia. You can see it's a little wilted because of the dryness, but you can see the flowers are maturing pretty nicely. They should be open within 2 weeks. I don't know. Give you a closer look. Very nice. Here's the strawberries. They're not flowering anymore, obviously. Now they're just sending out runners like these. Here's the calla lily. I harvested a few more flowers this week, which is going to be shown at the end of the video. Here's some bulb plants that I'm gonna put away. The crimson clover seedling is growing nicely. Hydrangea, a lot of flowers. Pretty purple and pink this year. But if you look here, you can see some dried up flowers. These blue ones are dried up. I think it's because of the warmth, the heat from the summer. Here's another poor hydrangea. The leaves are very damaged by the black vine weevil, as you can tell from there. Here's the asparagus. I'll give you a closer look. You can see the leaves are turning yellow now, so it has started dying back. Over here's the catnips. I think the flowers are pretty much done, so I could cut these off pretty soon because it's a little messy. Here's the succulents, the Mexican stone crop, I think. As you can see, it's sending out some new leaves. Grape looks pretty much the same. The rhubarb is actively sending out more new leaves. You can see a lot more new leaves are coming out, like right there. The pineapple is looking great. You can see that new leaf that I have been tracking is getting longer. And if you look closely at the center, I think there's a few more new leaves that's gonna come out. And another catnip. The ginger that I planted on May 5th is sprouting, finally. You can see here's a tiny sprout. And I've dug in the soil a little bit too. I can see other sprout, but they're just not tall enough to be seen yet. Here's another plant that I planted. Indoor garden. The succulent is growing nicely. The little baby plant that was that dropped, you can see the stem is dried right there. Here's another succulent. The orchids are doing well. You can see a lot of leaves. I'm trying to find some new growths to show you, but it's kind of hard to find. Anyways, here's the mini oncidium. Last week we saw some flower spikes forming. You can see right here's one. This other one, you can see this one is getting bigger. And right here's another flower spike. 3 flower spikes so far from 2 plants. More orchids. Let's look at the phalaenopsis. The new leaf is getting bigger slowly. Over here's the ficus. You can see ficus are sending out some new leaves. Snake plant's new leaf is getting taller. Over here's another succulent. You can see the leaves are nicely colored. The dragon tree plant and the bird nest fern are all looking great. Philodendron, and then here we have the pear plant. A lot of new leaves. The Hoya plant new growth is looking good. And here we have the Stockholm fern. You can see the shield fronds are turning brown. I harvested some calla lily flowers on the 16th. This particular calla lily flower is super weird. You can see there's 2 petals actually. Other than that, I'll show you the flowers that I harvested today. It's the fresher looking ones. These ones. These ones are the ones I harvested on the 16th. There's 2 different varieties, as you can tell. And the flowers that I harvested in the past few weeks are turning greener, as you can tell. And on the 19th, I harvested a bunch of blueberries. The blueberries also fits perfectly into this glass.